Hey there, Coach Enrgy here, the single parent's life coach. I am that life coach who helps both single dads and single moms with understanding life and relationships, understanding their purpose in life, and ultimately gaining their power and control of their life back. You are tuned into the I Give Life to Life podcast right here on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and so many other channels. Make sure that you subscribe, you share, you download, you like, you rate. Give me that 5-star rating if you do believe that I share some valuable content and information for everyone at some point to be able to benefit from. That is what this channel is all about. And today I am sharing pieces of conversation that I have had with clients of mine. And it's more so talking about how do I deal. So one of my clients have asked me, with everything that's going on, Enrgy, how is it that you're not being affected? Or at least if you are, it doesn't seem, feel, or look as if you're being affected with this entire virus that's going on, the up and down issues with the economy, the closing and opening of the government, the closing and opening of the states, the shutdowns of businesses, the doors closing of businesses. How is it that it just does not seem or look as if you're being affected? So, I had to give nothing but the real. And I explained it's all about being flexible and trust and believe. I am also being affected by everything that's going on. I'm being affected by, when the economy decides to go up or down, when the government decides to open or close, when the states decide to go on lockdown or not, when the states decide to do a round of quarantine or not. I am absolutely being affected. That's the one common thing that I can say about this entire situation that we're all dealing with right now, is that it's affecting everyone. However, it is affecting everyone differently. Some people, yes, more than others. I can definitely acknowledge that. Some people, it's affecting in mostly their financial life. Other people, it's affecting them in their emotional life, emotional health, mental well-being. And it's also affecting people physically, in multiple areas physically, whether it be just within themselves, their own body, as far as with them not being able to maybe get out as much as they used to, get their workout going, or just move more than what they may have been doing from being in a lockdown or a soft lockdown or whatever is going on in your area. And then another physical means of how a lot of people are being affected are being stuck at home with someone who's abusive. So we're all being affected to some degree. And yes, some more than others. So one thing that I made sure to mention to that client was, don't think that it's not affecting me, but do understand that I am controlling to what degree I allow it to affect me. And I broke it down, again, going back to what I was about to start explaining, I broke it down by stating that I learned to be flexible. I've learned to live life being as flexible as I possibly can. I've learned to be able to bend without breaking. I've learned to know how to go with the flow when I can't necessarily do anything in that moment. But I've learned to go with the flow in the meantime until I see that moment until I see that opening, until I see that opportunity that allows me to step in and do my part as far as what I can to make that change, make that shift, make that decision that will be best for me, my life, and my family and my household. So I didn't always be, I wasn't always that flexible. I wasn't always in the mindset of being flexible. Yes, I used to be one of those where, if something happened, then, that's it. What do I do? Oh my gosh, panic, panic, panic. Then I learned over time, and it did take time, but I started learning by first just being aware of the difference in the situations that I was going through, learning and seeing and paying attention and being aware of the difference in situations when I maintained that little bit of flexibility that I had back then versus when I did not have any flexibility at all back then. And usually, of course, it was a little bit easier to exercise that flexibility on smaller issues, not so dramatic issues, I'll say. And so it allowed me to just kind of get a glimpse of, oh, wow, I handled that situation, albeit wasn't as huge as maybe something else that I may have gone through. However, I handled this particular situation, this particular way with more patience, being more calm, understanding what's really going on to the best of my knowledge, and not taking it on so personally. And man, that difference in feeling, that difference in the experience of going through that particular situation was totally different. And so being a believer in, I do have control over how I allow myself to be affected by the things that I go through, I started applying it and just testing it out. I tested out how and if it would work on other issues, different issues, money issues, emotional issues, relationship issues, family issues, you name it. Car breaks down type of issue. A bill is due that was unexpected type of issue. Whatever. A health issue. So I started testing it out. Testing out that quote unquote theory. At the time, it was a theory. And actually allowing myself to see if it worked. And oh my goodness, it did. So I started implementing it more and more and more. And sometimes I would get it right, sometimes I wouldn't, because I was in a learning stage. I was learning how to do it. I was teaching myself how to, I was trying to figure it out. So I was running tests, technically behind the scenes, I was running tests. So anytime that life dealt me one particular issue, okay, great, opportunity for me to try it again. Okay, I did something that may not have worked in this particular situation, cool. Don't worry, life will give you another chance to try it out. So another thing life dealt me, I had an opportunity to try it again. And so I did. And I tweaked my, I tweaked my, what's that word? I tweaked my method each time. And it's just like with anything else. See, this is one of the reasons, or a perfect example of how I can say, or why I say, life and relationships, we make them more difficult than what they have to be, because we have everything that we need within us to be able to navigate both life and relationships much better than what we have been doing or typically do or may have done back in our past, in our more youthful days, our more immature days. Because all I did was use a method of trial and error, of let's test and see, let's tweak it as we go, and just keep trying again and trying again. It's the same method that we learn as kids, that we are taught as kids, that we even teach our kids. Whether we're teaching them this method directly or indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally, people are taught this method one way or the other. And so I applied what I knew as a basic life method, basic foundational principle, if you will. And I applied it to the situations that I would go through in my life. And it started working. I started noticing the difference. I started seeing the evidence. I started seeing it with my own eyes. I was able to feel it with my own heart. I was able to notice a difference in the end result. However, the most important thing that I noticed a difference in was the journey of point A, of being dealt with whatever that issue or problem was, down to point Z, the final result, the issue being resolved. However the resolution was, or whatever the resolution was. That journey from start to finish was so different, less stressful, less of a roller coaster of emotions and a lot of going back and forth. It was much more, dare I say it, pleasant. So, as I was explaining to my client, I'm being dealt the same cards. However, I'm choosing how I allow it to affect me. And meaning I'm choosing how I am going to walk this journey, the day-to-day of this whole virus situation, the day-to-day of the unknowns, the day-to-day of the government not knowing where we're going to go, not knowing what we're doing, whatever the case is, not knowing as a parent, and especially a single parent, what the schools are going to do. Schools are upon us. The reopening of schools, the next school year is here. We are less than a month away from the typical start time, from what was the original start time. You know, there are a lot of school counties or districts that are giving parents the option to either go in person or do digital learning. So there's a huge decision to make. And, you know, based off whatever decision I make, it's not just for me, it's for my family, my household, and it's also going to affect the other families and other households of the other students as well. Because either my child will be there in person or not. That's just another body that's breathing that air, that's in those classrooms. So I'm not going to go into much detail on that with this particular episode, because I do have multiple episodes that are available and more to come that I go into the common issues of, whether the common issues of parents having to decide to send their kid to school or to keep them at home for digital learning. So make sure you check those episodes out. But getting back to how do I deal, and how is it that it just seems that it doesn't affect me, or not that I'm not being affected? That's the beauty of what I coach my clients on, what I mentor my mentees on, is how to gain your power and control of your life back. Because when you have the control back over yourself, then life and that relationship, if you're in a relationship, it's a whole new world. That's when you are in that power seat of saying, this is what will be, this is what's best for me. This is what I will accept. This is what I will not accept. And there's so much more to it. It's very powerful, very enlightening, very mind opening. So for anyone who just feels as if you have lost control of yourself, lost control of your life, of your house, of your kids, of your relationship, whatever, then reach out to me and let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's see, where did things get off track? Because that's all that happened. You just got off track. And it doesn't mean that it's not a situation that cannot be fixed, that cannot be put back in its rightful place, and however else you want to look at it. So if you are that person, if I am talking to you, if you are resonating with what I'm saying, then reach out to me. You can find my contact information, or you can just simply contact me by going to my website, coachnrgy.com. Enrgy is spelled Nrgy. Visit me on my website and reach out via the methods that are there. If you want to do something a little bit quicker, wherever you are listening to this episode, comment below, reach out to me below in the comments, or send me a direct message via the platform that you're on. Just get my attention. Let me know that it's something that you are ready to do. It's a step that you're ready to take. And you can always email me as well. My email address is in the show notes or the description of this episode, or all of my episodes actually. So if you want to just send me an email, be discreet, I got you. Send me an email and just, briefly describe, what's going on, or what you need, what you're looking for. But if you go to my website, ultimately, it's just as easy as clicking that book now button or book online button for that consultation. And it's a no obligation free consultation, so you don't have to worry about anything as far as for that particular call. Let us just discuss what's going on. Let's see where we can go. Let's see what type of personal game plan that we can come up together for your life, and put you back in the driver's seat. That's how I'm able to stay flexible. That's how I'm able to be bendable without breaking. That's how I'm able to go with the flow during the time, or in the meantime, of finding that opening or that right timing to make a decision or make a move that's best for me and my family, is by being in the driver's seat and having the power and control of my life back. That's how. You can have that too. You can also control how not only this virus situation that's worldwide, how it will affect you, you also can have control over how your relationships will go from this point forward. You have control over your own happiness. You will learn how to have control over your own happiness from this point forward, and just so much more. Like it's so hard to put in words the feeling, the experience. I don't even want to use the term feeling. The experience is so hard to put it into words because it's that awakening. It really is. And I want you to experience that. I want that for you. But I can't want it more for you than what you want it for yourself. So you have to take the first step. And that's all. That's it. At this moment, right here, right now, what you're listening to, the only requirement that you have is to take the first step and just reach out to me and let me know that, hey, can we talk? Can we just have that initial conversation? And that's exactly what we will do. And we will go from there. So once again, I thank you all for your support. Thank you for downloading, sharing, hitting that thumbs up button, and liking, giving me that 5-star rating if you think that this was a great episode, or if you have listened to other episodes that have been published and you think that there was a lot of valuable information that someone can benefit from, then make sure you go ahead and download. Give me that 5-star rating so I can get that exposure on these platforms. But again, this is Coach Enrgy, the Single Parents Life Coach. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find me online, coachenrgy.com. From that website, it's my main hub. From there, if you are a social media person, you can connect with me via whichever preferred social media platform that you want by just clicking that emblem, that icon that you see on my website, and then it'll take you right to that page. But nonetheless, I thank you guys for tuning in. You already know what to do. Put your comments below, get the conversation started. And as always, keep smiling.